Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, hi! My name is Natasha and it's fantastic to have you here. For today's video, we are unboxing and taking a look at the Oracle of the Mythic Heroes. This is by Letao Want, illustrated by Rosang Zuahli and Anjun. Hopefully I am pronouncing those names correctly. I do apologize if I am not. This is published by Beyond Words Publishing, and thank you so much to Beyond Words and Letao Want for sending this deck my way. I am so excited because it is right up my alley. It retails for $24 in the US and $33 in Canada. And as always, in the description box below, I will link where you can legitimately purchase this should you want to. All right, let's get into it. This includes 40 cards and a 256-page guidebook. Wow. Letao Want reminds us of the deeply rooted coupling of astrology and ancient Greek/Roman mythology. Enter the legendary realm of mythic heroes where their ancient wisdom will guide you throughout your day. You won't find Zeus, Athena, or Poseidon within, but humans who are often overlooked from myths, from the adventurer Aeneas and prideful Icarus to the huntress Atlantia and the musician Orpheus. The uniqueness and beauty of the Oracle of Mythic Heroes lies in bringing these mortal stories to the forefront of these myths. This intuitive oracle and guidebook combine the historical lessons of these mortal heroes and heroines of Greek and Roman mythology with modern astrology, crystals, and archetypes to guide you through your spiritual journey and strengthen your connection to your inner hero. I am so excited. This looks so pretty, and this is a huge box here. All right. I'm kind of enjoying the fact that this is about like the mortals instead of the gods because it brings a different perspective to the mythologies. Okay, so before we get into the cards, I just want to take a peek at the guidebook here. This is thick. This is nice. Okay, I'm excited. Okay, wow, lots of content here. So I have the foreword, preface, and introduction, and then it goes into each section. So we have the heroes of Aries, and it looks throughout the rest of the zodiac, and then the creatures of the lunar cycle. Very cool. Okay. Lots of information here. You probably have used or heard of tarot, which is a 78 card deck for divination. Oracle cards are also used for divination purposes, but each deck is unique in its stories and systems. There are 40 cards in this deck. First 36 cards are assigned to the mythical heroes, and each one rules a decan of a zodiac sign with its own teaching. In astrology, each zodiac sign covers 30 degrees of the 360-degree sky. Each 10 degrees of a sign is called a decan. For example, Theseus, the famous king of Athens, rules the first decan of Aries. Okay, so there are 3 heroes for each zodiac sign. The last 4 cards are the 4 mythical creatures, and they symbolize the 4 phases of the lunar cycle and the 4 traditional seasons of the year. Very cool. Okay. Each card description starts with the hero's name, the keyword message, its ruling planet, the assigned zodiac decan, the associated timing, as well as its healing crystal. Also included is the element of the zodiac sign and its modality, so whether it's cardinal, fixed, or mutable. You will find the mythical stories of the heroes' lives under the myth sections and their spiritual meanings under the teaching sections. Very cool. Okay. So we have some spreads. We have the 1 card, the 3 card, 7 card sphere. That's spear. And it goes into each of the card meanings. Okay. We'll dive deeper in the oracle after the card flip through. Here's the back. It is a high gloss here. Love that back. Cardstock is not bad. So it is not thick. I would call it the medium, nice little medium midway point between thin and thick. It's going to snap back really nice. Easy to shuffle too. Feels very flexible. All right. Oh, I like this. So we do have the number, we have the name, and we have the zodiac sign as well as a keyword here, or I'll say meaning as well. Very cool and dynamic art style. Awesome. Moving on to Taurus. Oop. Nice. The art is vibrant, it's dynamic, but it's also very soft. Gemini. Isn't she the one that goes through the Minotaur maze? Gosh, it's been a minute since I've read the myths. Cancer. The cards are a bigger size, so you see a lot more art, which is really cool. There's no borders. Leo. Ooh. All right. Virgo. Libra. That water is really cool. Scorpio. Sagittarius. This is very pretty. I'm really excited to get into the guidebook now. All right, that was Capricorn. Now we're in Aquarius. Sweet. Oh, Pandora. And Pisces. We have Pegasus. That's beautiful. Sphinx, Medusa, and sirens. All right, let's see how it shuffles. Yeah, not an issue. Like I said, they're a little bit bigger in size. So if you have smaller hands, I might suggest trying it side by side like this. Since it is a flexible cardstock, you can still shuffle it just as easily. Yeah. And this way works too. Oh, that one wanted to come out. And we got transition. But yeah, it shuffles just great. So we're going to read for the Sphinx. Okay. So it is transition, and we have spring, first quarter moon, the second week of each lunar cycle, and moonstone. In the card of spring, we are encountering the next phase of the lunar cycle, the first quarter moon, which is embodied in the mythological creature of the Sphinx, whose graceful form was fashioned with the body and tail of a lion, the face of a woman, and the wings of a bird. And then we have the myth. Sing amuses the most enigmatic of figures, the puzzling riddler, the Sphinx. Sing of her labyrinth of words that confounded the mind and confused the heart. Sing of her words that offered truth only when they were shrouded in deceit. The Sphinx was born of, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that correctly, so the Sphinx was born here. Mother of monsters and Typhon, greatest and most calamitous of the Titans. She had the head of a beautiful woman, the body and tail of a mighty lion, and the pair of vast wings like an eagle. Echidna birthed her in secret, and so the power of her birthright became a secret itself. All matters of riddles and mysteries and puzzling words with double meanings came quite naturally to her. She proudly roamed the lands of Greece, lairing wherever so she willed. When she encountered any of the specimens of humanity, she offered them a simple challenge: answer the riddle and go free, or fail and be devoured. As the child of a Titan, she thought of it as merely her right. It came to pass that the Sphinx came to a crossroads near to the city of Thebes. There she claimed the crossroads as her own, climbing an outcropping of rock over the road to roost, and leveled her challenge to any who wished transit through her domain. Great was the sorrow and the fear of the Theban people as trade to and from their great cities slowed, swallowed up by the maw of the Sphinx, for none were clever enough to outwit her. None that was until Oedipus arrived. Young, strong, and handsome was Oedipus, and though the Sphinx was beautiful and terrible to behold, he did not quaver nor flee. Rather, he stood to hear her riddle. What animal is that which in the morning goes on 4 feet, at noon on 2, and in the evening upon 3? The Sphinx asked, her voice deep as the roaring river, yet as soft and silken as the finest weaving. And then was Oedipus afraid. Confusion came upon him, clouding his mind like a cascade of veils. No sooner had he torn one away than another would take its place, hazing his mind and winding his thoughts in a gauzy tangle. What animal was there that went on 4 feet in the morning, on 2 feet at noon, and on 3 in the evening? Long did Oedipus rack his brain, and long did the Sphinx sit patiently on the rock, a self-satisfied smirk upon her face. But this was not a riddle without an answer. This was not a mystery meant never to be solved. At length, Oedipus fought his way to a realization, and in that moment, he knew he was right. He knew he would be free to walk away from here. Man, Oedipus whispered, his mind cleared and his voice defiant. Man is the answer. Man who in the morning of his life crawls on all fours. Man who walks tall and proud on 2 feet during the noon of his life. Man who in the evening or twilight of his time upon earth hobbles with the aid of a stick and thus goes about on 3. The transition of man throughout his life is the answer, and indeed it was. A fearsome howl of rage and denial burst forth from the monstrous creature. The riddle had been solved. Such a thing was unthinkable. In rage and terror and the thought she had been bested, the Sphinx cast herself repeatedly upon the rock she had claimed as her own until she was dashed entirely to pieces and was no more. No mystery can survive the revelation of its particulars, and confusion cannot live where true and simple answers may be found. The teaching. Holger had just started college. I was about to congratulate him, but he didn't appear excited. He told me that he was having trouble getting used to his college life, both academically and socially. He was overwhelmed by all the unfamiliar things around him, and he was having doubts about continuing his program. The card that appeared in front of us was the Sphinx. I told him the story of the Sphinx and Oedipus and asked about his own interpretation. Holger said, "Well, it is true that I feel life is like a riddle for me. After all, it's only been 3 months. When Sphinx ruled by the first quarter moon appears in your reading, the universe is sending you a signal that certain adjustments and further investigation are needed in your current situation. The Sphinx does not mean that you are on the wrong path, but it does tell you that you are possibly between 2 stages of life or in some kind of transition. So you might feel a sense of uncertainty or a bit of cloudiness in the mind. Perhaps you are in a career transition, or you have just started a potential relationship with someone special. The best way to deal with this situation is to cultivate your curiosity, ask plenty of questions, and gain many different perspectives. You may not be able to figure out everything just yet. Nothing is instantaneous, but through collecting information and learning about what you don't know, you will feel more confident and clear in how to proceed to the next step." In the myth, Sphinx's riddle sounds unsolvable, but Oedipus's answer of man was surprisingly simple, wasn't it? What you are going through in this moment might seem like a riddle to you, mysterious and even baffling. But this learning and understanding phase is also critical to your future success. So don't dismiss or rush through it. Only in hindsight will you realize how and why it happened, all for your own development and growth. The planetary position of Sphinx, the first quarter moon, asks you to continue to nurture the seeds you planted during the new moon phase. If the soil is too dry, water it. If there's not enough light, move the pot outdoors. These kinds of small adjustments and learning moments are exactly what is needed at the specific stage of your transition. There could also be some mental discomfort and the feeling of being out of control, but please know that you are on the right path and to trust the universe. Only the strongest seed can sprout and grow from the darkest toward the sunlight. Wow. Okay. I know that was a lot of reading, but that's a lot of information, and that is for each card here. That is absolutely awesome. And we do have a little bit, the completion of Cosmic Water for the section of Pisces. We have it same for each one, a little bit of a blurb. There's a lot here, and I love how it goes into the myths. So if you are not familiar with them, there's a lot that I saw that I was like, wait, what was this about? As a child, I absolutely loved the Greek and Roman myths, ancient Egypt, all of that stuff. So I remember devouring all of it, but right now my adult mind can't remember each and every one. So this is fantastic that there's a blurb about the actual myth and how it relates to the divinatory meaning and how you can utilize it in your own life in an active way. I think that's fantastic that they have ordered it through the astrology signs, so then it gives an even more layered nuance to it, as well as we have the lunar cycle in there too. I think this is just all around really cool, really creative, and really informative. And if you are somebody who, like me, has an obsession with these ancient civilizations and these mythologies, especially Greek and Roman, this would be right up your alley. The quality of the cardstock is great. I love the art style. It's different, it's unique and fun and vibrant and dynamic. Almost feels like a comic book in a way. But great price tag for what you're getting here. Like, this is a huge, huge book. Like, that was not a small little blurb of a meaning. So I'm really excited to get to know this a lot more. Thank you so much to Beyond Words Publishing and Letao Want. I absolutely think this is awesome, and I cannot wait to get to know it more. I would love to know what you all think. Is this something on your list? Have you seen it before? Or now that you've seen this video, are you excited about it? Do you want to dive deeper in it? Do you have an affinity for these mythologies? I am really excited. So thank you all for hanging out with me today. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on your way out of this video. That way you will never miss an upload from me. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.